Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. We got some interesting developments in Latin America, and more especially or precisely in Cuba. As you probably know, next month, United States will host in Los Angeles the Summit of Americas. About a month ago, some officials, U.S. officials, stated that they might not invite to the Summit of Americas, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba, and at which there were some brave uh, leaders in Latin America who said, well, uh, you either invite them or we're not coming. We have the president of Mexico, Obrador, who said, if you don't invite them, I will just send a representative over there to Los Angeles. That's not fair because it's we should invite everybody. This is the Americas. It's not some Americas, countries in Americas, or some countries, and so on. Then we have the other leader with, if you know what I mean, the Brazilian Bolsonaro, who said that he's not going to attend, and he didn't even bother to give a reason. So he's got bigger, if you know what I mean. And then we have some other two or three countries who said the same thing, that they might not come because it's not fair and blah blah blah. Then the United States immediately, boom, sends some emissaries to uh, Mexico and tried to make Obrador change his mind. Nothing happened, and now we have the Cuban uh, leader saying something interesting. So this article comes from The Hill from May 25th, 2022, and by Rafael Bernal. This is the title. Cuban president says he won't attend Summit of the Americas. Straight. I mean, what do you think? I'm waiting for you guys to invite me and disinvite me and invite me. What am I, a dog here? Simply, I'm not coming. Bye. I was about to say something else. So, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel said Wednesday that under no circumstances will he attend the Summit of the Americas, set to be held in Los Angeles in June. In a thread on Twitter, Diaz-Canel said, so this president of Cuba, Communist Cuba, has a Twitter account, and the former US President Trump does not, was kicked out. All right, and nevertheless, he said that, and I'm quoting, it is known that the United States had conceived early on the Summit of Americas would not be inclusive. Well, had conceived early on the summit did not be inclusive. Of course, they invite only the little dogs that agree with them. And I'm quoting, I can assure you that under no circumstances will I attend. End of quote, wrote Diaz-Canel on Twitter. And I'm quoting again, as it has happened oftentimes in the past, the voice of Cuba will be heard at the 9th Summit of the Americas, he added. Okay, the Biden administration, which is organizing the summit, has yet to announce a formal guest list, but Latin American leaders have asked for every head of government in the Western Hemisphere to be included. Cuban officials and many of their Latin American allies have denounced the United States' expected exclusion of Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua from the guest list. Earlier this month, the State Department top official for the Western Hemisphere, Brian Nichols, said in an interview he did not expect the United States to issue invitation either to the leaders of Cuba and Nicaragua, nor to the de facto president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. U.S. allies in the region, but it's the Summit of Americas. It's not the United States' America or the Cuba's America. It's the Americas, good or bad, friends or foes, likes and dislikes. That's why you meet, to discuss, to have a conference, not to agree. Yes, yes, yes. That's in the communist times, not now. So U.S. allies in the region, particularly Mexico, reacted negatively to the impending exclusion of leaders who are either not signatories or have openly disdained the Inter-American Democratic Charter. Okay, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who celebrated reciprocal visits with Diaz-Canel, said he will miss the event and instead send Foreign Secretary Marcelo Ebrard if Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua are excluded. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has said will not attend the summit, ending weeks of speculation he was planning to skip it. He didn't even give a reason, just so you know. Argentine President Alberto Fernandez said earlier this month that he will attend the summit, but he echoed López Obrador's demand that all leaders be invited. The Summit of the Americas has been held more or less every 3 years since 1994, and Cuba's presence has at times led to discomfort between the United States and other Latin American countries. In 2015, U.S. officials tried Panama to refrain from inviting then President Raúl Castro, and in 2002, former Mexican President Vicente Fox were tangled up in a web of diplomatic faux pas in trying to host both Cuban revolutionary leader Fidel Castro and former U.S. President George W. Bush. Well, it is also known that the United States has been engaged in intensive efforts and has exercised brutal pressures to demobilize the just and firm claims of the majority of the countries of the region, demanding that the summit should be inclusive. End of quote, wrote Diaz-Canel. And I'm quoting again, "We appreciate the courageous and dignified standing adopted by the countries that have raised their voices against exclusions. Yes, I salute them too." End of quote. Why? Come, talk, disagree, but have a conversation. Expose your facts. They're going to expose their facts. And maybe you can find a common denominator somewhere. I mean, you can't be so opposite. I mean, you're human beings after all. And we, quote again here, I we appreciate the courageous standing adopted by countries that have raised their voice against exclusions. We share the position adopted by the leaders of the region who have firmly stated that all countries should be invited on an equal footing, he added. Yeah, I think so. Why are you scared of? I mean, if you know that you are in the right, you should not be afraid, including the fact that you're not in front of a judge, and the judge is there's no judge over there. So one thing when you know you're right and you're in front of a crooked judge or a fake judge or a low IQ judge, then you should be scared because you're going to be judged according to his abilities or her abilities. But in this case, it's not a court proceeding here. It's just you and meeting the other guys. And if you know that you're not right, you're going to expose your angle, your idea, your vision. They will expose theirs. You will disagree maybe with theirs. They will disagree with yours. But at least you interacted. You know what I mean? Maybe you find something that you can work on together. After all, it's the Summit of the Americas, not the Summit of the United States. Anyway, they're just organizing it. It just, doesn't mean that you're organizer, you're not going to invite. You're not the leader of this, or are you? You want to be. Probably you are for most of the little bottom feeders, the carp or the bottom feeds. That's what they are, most of them. Seems like yes countries. Good job, Cuban. Stay strong, stay, I don't need you guys. We've been under your embargo for how many, 60 years or so? More than that. Yeah. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.